I'll have whatever afternoon, wherever you're from, or good morning, I should say. I always forget there's people from America and around the world. But hi, it's me, Teacher Tommy T. I'm back. It's been a month, I know, since I was last live, and I apologise for that. But it was the summer break. It was the time for having a break. And yes, I hope you've all had a fantastic summer break, vacation, holiday, rest, and that goes for staff, teachers, dinner ladies, students, the lollipop man across the road, the dog barking outside. I know he will be quiet eventually. But yes, I hope you've all had a fantastic summer break. You're all refreshed. But this time of year can actually be quite an interesting one. Before we continue on the live, I'm just going to remind you why I wear my shades, just in case someone's like, why is he wearing shades? So the print on here, I sometimes can't read the writing as well. So I put these on. It's not because I think I'm like some weird celebrity. I'm not. I've got a very powerful light, a ring light, and then if I can then got my special glasses where I can actually see properly, should have gone Specsavers, which I did, and now I can read everything perfectly. So that's why I wear them. Now, back to what the main topic is tonight, and you've been helping out a lot, but let's just go over the question. The question is, what are your top tips for going back to high school or going to high school for the first time? Be that if you're a person who was in year 6 in Great Britain going up to year 7, or an American, or whoever going into high school for the first time, you've done middle school and now you're going to high school. What are your top tips? What's your best advice? Because I am going to be making a video for everyone across the world who are going into high school for the first time. And yes, it will mainly be for year 6s going into year 7, but it will hit home because most of the stuff there is stuff that you would do categorically across the world. But this time of year, like I said, it's anxiety time. People do start going, oh my goodness, I've been at school for a very long time. In America, I believe you have 8 weeks off. I think I used to do summer camp over there. I swear it was 8 weeks off. In Scotland, it's quite a long time. They've gone back. Obviously, I hope that's going well for everyone in Scotland. And in England, we're all going back, I think, next week on Wednesday, the 4th and the 5th, and wherever from in September. So it's a long time off. And even for teachers, we get that same anxiety feel. But I want to know what your top tips are, especially if you are in the UK, you're now in year 8. What advice would you give in your year 7 self? Or in Americans out there, if you could go back after your first year in America, is it like freshman year? Is that what they call it? Let me know in the comments. What would have been useful for you to know then that you do know, now, but then? So let me know. Let's get into it. And I put up a community question earlier and it's been going really well. Please go to that community. I've been reading the comments. I've pinned a top comment. If you want to beat that comment with the best sound advice, let me see it. But someone pinned it earlier. Fantastic comment. I pinned it and I've said why. So let's get into it. My advice. So this is from Alicia. Thank you, Alicia. My advice is socializing because you need friends. Absolutely. And if you don't have a good support group, you may become anxious. And I'm going into year 10. I think that's really good advice. Let's just quickly focus on Alicia's comment. I 100% agree with that. That's going to be in my YouTube Shorts video coming soon across the world. It's all about joining clubs and societies. It's definitely going to be a really good thing for you guys to do. So look, bear in mind, when you first go there, you're going to know some people from your old middle school or your primary school, wherever, that you're going to know. So it's very unlikely you're going to go to high school for the first time you don't know. If that is the case, that you don't know anyone and you are new to the area, then may I suggest smiling. Look approachable. A little smile goes a long way. You're going to be sat next to people. Start some conversations. Just go, so, hi, Tom, how was your summer? Did you do anything interesting? I see you got an interesting pencil case there. Oh, it's Oasis. Oh, are you really? What do you think about the Oasis tickets? Did you get any Oasis tickets? What's this teacher like? Do you know much about him? Those kind of questions. Write them down, store them, have them ready, learn them. Those kind of interactions are going to work. But if not, if they're failing that, join local clubs in that school. Clubs and societies, shared interests, you'll find friends. Great advice by Alicia. Another tip from them. Another tip, you just keep coming up with them. It's fantastic. Any other tips? Another tip is don't focus on big exams. They are so far away. Yes, absolutely. Don't. Year 7, year 8, year 9, especially in the UK, you have not got to worry about exams. I'm so sorry. You don't have to. You can worry and be concerned about how hard you're working. Of course, doing your homework. We'll get onto homework in a minute. But yes, totally good advice. You have not got the GCSEs yet to worry about. Enjoy that first year. Enjoy that first year. Aston Villa says, my advice is stick with friends. And if you see any more who's lonely, make new friends. I blooming love that. That is what I'm talking about. This is my community. I feel is right up there. Aston Villa, brilliant stuff by you. There, so I like that. If you see someone on the first couple of days who are just sitting on their own at lunch, not maybe in the corridor looking a bit lost. Come on, year eights. If you're a year above and you see the year sevens looking like, come on, help them out. Go and talk to them. Say, hey, how's things going? Do you need a hand? Love that advice. That's what we're all about. Sierra Taylor's version of. Sorry if I hope I said your name right. My advice is to get on good sides with teachers, but not too well that you get to know as a teacher's pet. That's good advice. But if the teachers like you, you'll have better lessons, better teaching, and better results. That's sound advice. Don't go to high school with a rep trying to make a reputation of being some sort of idiot class clown, bad boy in the class. Class clowns are, when I portray my class clowns, they've always got a side where the teacher does actually enjoy their company. It shouldn't always be that the class clown is there to just completely like sabotage the lesson, ruin the lesson, get rid of the teachers, and basically stop you from learning. Don't be a person who stops others from learning. Have a joke with your teachers. I wouldn't obviously make jokes the first few weeks. I would get to know your teachers very carefully. Every teacher's different. They've all got different personalities. The difference between probably middle school and primary school, America and England, what you find is all the teacher you used to have, you've got to know quite well. You've got to build up again. Listen. Be actively listening in class, like making notes, responding, putting your hand up. Those teachers are going to absolutely love the fact that you made that effort. Brilliant advice there. Let's read another one. JBFC. So I'm reading what I see. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. Also, being polite to teachers means they are nicer to you. I think that's just the world in general. If you treat others really well, they will treat you back well. If they don't, then move away from. Teachers aren't there to go, I don't like you. I've decided I just don't like you. I don't like the look of you. I don't like the smell of you. You're gone. The next 5 years, I'm going to make your life a living hell. Now, if you do know that teacher, sack them. But we all do know a teacher like that. We all definitely did. Lisa Rowland says, don't get in the wrong group. I couldn't agree more, Lisa. A great bit of advice. A little bit of it comes across negative. Actually, it's a really positive thing to say, because what I'm saying to Lisa's is, look, the glasses are off. Yes, you might think they are popular. Yes, you might think occasionally they're quite funny. But are they getting work done? Are they getting a bit of reputation? Are they getting little demotes or points or demerits? Are they being sent to detention? Are they holding the class up? Is the teacher actively getting stressed or annoyed with them? Is that the kind of people you want to be hanging out with? Think ahead. You've got a long time at high school, and the friends you choose can have a big impact on you. So do pick your friends wisely. Personally, I used to hang out with all the cheeky little chappies at lunchtimes and break times where they didn't affect my learning. I certainly would not sit with them in a lesson where I'm going to get distracted. And I'm going to say this, and you guys are going to think I'm really uncool. Flipping heck. If they're too loud at the back, sit at the front. I know you don't like it, but the teacher doesn't always focus on the people at the front as much as you think they do. Trust me, we're taught to search, scan the room, move around. A good teacher always moves around. Next one. Let's go. Loving these so far. Ninja Guy. Tip, don't change yourself for someone else. Be yourself. Love that, man. Love that, man. That is quality. Be yourself. And by the way, it sounds cliche when you say, oh, be yourself. Do, because there's someone out there who likes that about you. Don't be what other people you think they want you to be. That is not you. Be you, okay? However, if you're a little twit at primary school, change it up and be better. Right. Halima, I see you. We've got a lovely thing here. As someone going into year 11, ask for help. Brilliant. If any circumstances, academic help in friendships, etc., you can get so much just by asking or being present. Halima, I see that. I love it. Great advice. Asking for help from anyone. Asking help from prefects, school counsellors, student unions, the dinner ladies, for flip's sake. They don't just serve you food. They're wonderful people. The cleaner, that one. And those people are there to help you as well. The teachers, of course, your form twos. There's such a huge group of people. The librarians, they're there. They're everyone. The person, just the photocopiers. Anyone, ask anyone at the school. They will help you. They're there to see you do well. If you see someone by themselves and are getting bullied, make friends with them, help them, boost their confidence. That's Alicia again. Lovely stuff. Swift Bree, how's it going? I'm good, thank you. How are you? Thank you for asking. Hope you've had a great summer, guys. Do you start revising in year 7? A great advice from a great teacher on many platforms I've seen is this. You revise when you want to revise. If you are present in the lesson, if you are in the lesson and you are actually taking part and you're listening, you will do fine. For those who put the effort in, they reap what they sow. And if you're one of those people who work so hard and it still doesn't happen, don't worry. We've still got your back. We still think you're fantastic. You make the effort and you will go far in life. If you turn up to lesson late, if you don't end homework, you're going to start struggling and you'll get that reputation built upon you. Now, what I would suggest is if you're going into year 7, I'm aware that they give you about 4 or 5 pieces of homework, depending on the school, a week, depending on the school. Do it. Find a time to do it. Don't start falling behind. Get in there and do something good with it. Let's read this one. Mr. Fox 22. How do you get on your principal's good side? How do you get on your principal's good side? That's interesting. I mean, so in England, we wear the uniform properly. Guys, shirts, do it up. Tie, do it up. Lanyards, wear your lanyards. If you go to a school that insists you wear ID badges, flipping wear them. You know, if you're not, why not? Yeah, so anything like that, do it. Great thing to say there, really. School starts tomorrow for me. Tyson rocks. Good luck to you. Wish you all the best. Karen Hunter. Bro, you're so funny. Thank you. Oh, other things. Just when you see the principal, say, hello, my name is. How are you? How's your day been? Would you like an apple? Only in America do they give out apples. I found out it's illegal to have air tags on students. Is it? I mean, I'd love to have air tags on my students when we're doing like travel training. That'd be good. Matthew Brown, going to year 9 on Wednesday. There's always, I'm reading everything what people say. There will always be bullies everywhere you may travel, but walking away may help or not. But telling the teacher will eventually resolve the issue. Big fan. I have autism too. Matthew, thank you so much. I'm neurotypical. I'm not autistic, but I am a huge advocate for the autistic community. You guys know that. I'm a SEND teacher. That is what SEND means, special educational needs teacher. Big up my autistic community. I've always got your backs. Anyone else? Neurodivergent as well. Thank you, Matthew. Yes, bullying does occur occasionally. Not everyone goes through bullying. And hey, you might not realise that you might be a bully without even realising it. If you constantly make a joke or something at someone, just because they tell you they don't like it, doesn't mean necessarily they do. Always check in. Nicknames are a big one. Do you like being called that? We've got 469 people here and we are offering some great advice. If you've just tuned in, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. I'm trying to read as much as I can. I'm going to go speed a little bit quicker now on some of the things you guys are saying. We're looking at top tips for those who are joining high school. Let's go. From you guys, not from me, from you guys. I add to them. Okay. Guffiard, I'm scared of getting detention. What do I do? Well, simply just follow the school rules as best you can. They're very lenient the first few weeks anyway, so if you're late for class, you don't know, get to know the school map or the college map, they'll be okay. Just talk to your teachers, communicate, you'll be fine. And hang out with the right people. If you feel like it's noisy people in the class, move away from. Taylor Swift for life. Hey, Taylor fans. All right, Swifties. My brother is going to be a teacher soon. Do you have any tips for him? Planning. Lots of planning. ChatGTP is good. Lots of planning. Lots of resources. Enjoy it. Get to know your students, read their profiles, have a great time and enjoy the summer holidays. But tonight, I would normally give more tips on that, but tonight we're focusing on you, the students. Going into high school, what's your top tips? Lily Beth, with an XX, a white heart and a frog. I'm starting secondary school next week. I'm not worried at the moment. I'm a bit scared of one thing. I might start crying. My dad just passed away. I'm so sorry. Less than a week ago. Bless you. Any tips for me? Feel better at all? Lily, that's caught me, that one. That's caught me off guard. That really touched me. Well, first off, well done for going. I'm going into school. I'm sure, I don't know your family. I can't say cliche things like this, but I'm sure your dad would be proud of the fact you're going. I'm still going to go into school. I'm not going to let that stop me. Maybe your dad would want you to have gone into school. I'd make the school completely and utterly aware for your mum, speaking to your form tutor. And I would let a few people know so they'd just take it a little bit easier on you, even students. Maybe speak to a school counsellor if you need some support. The main thing is, Lily, just keep talking about it. If you are openly enough to be able to write that on here and be so brave and bold, then good for you because you're talking about it. And that's the best thing to do. And at night, when you're on a phone like this, well, after this, or even now, come off this, go and speak to your family and tell them how you're feeling and keep that chat going. Never go to bed without getting all that off your chest and talking about how you're feeling. But you're really ruddy brave, and I'd love to have someone like that in my classroom with that kind of attitude. So wishing you all the best for high school. Go and smash it. I'll be live every week from now on. So I'd like an update from you, and I wish you all the very ruddy best from me, Teacher Tommy T. Everyone, Lily, proud of her. Finley says, cool, bro. Alexa, I just said your name. If that now comes on, I'm going into year 9. Any tips? We're talking about going into high school generally. So we want your tips. I would say, though, have you got your stationery in order? Is your bag ready? What are you putting in your bag? Are you going to do it the night before or in the rushing in the morning? You setting alarms on your phone? You know what's best. Plexinated. I hope I said that right. And I really hope that's not a... Anyway, I'm a bit shy and I can't even put my hand up in class. I go red whenever someone calls on me. What should I do? Can you email your teacher that? Does your teacher know that? Is there a way in which you could communicate? Can you use whiteboards? Can you write down the answer? Hold it up. Is there a way that you can communicate to your teacher during that lesson that you can work on? Can they give you options? Like, okay, guys, on A, B, C, or D, what are your answers? Can they do things like that? Trying to make it so you can be involved in the classroom activity is key. So I would talk to your teacher, maybe at the end of the lesson or at the start, saying sometimes I find it quite difficult to speak up. What can we do? Also, you don't want them to put you on the spot as well. So make sure you make that very clear. Great thing to talk about. Sir Batman, he should be knighted, says, my advice, never be cruel, never be cowardly, never give up, never get in. Wow, that sounds like The Rock just turned up. You have given some good sound advice there. Short, simple, and effective. I like it. Sophie Smith says, my advice is that you answer questions, but not too much because you don't want to be... cold or called on, but don't want to be a teacher's pet. I get what you're saying there. Yeah, just get to the point. I think that's really good. If you are that person who puts your hand up with a question or an answer, keep it brief. And yes, I like that. Don't rabbit on. Get to the point. Teachers like that. They ain't got that much time in the lesson. So yes, great bit of advice there. I love that. We are going through this quicker. Slovenia, hello. My advice, know the red flags when it comes to friends. Yes, that's good advice. And know also the school policy. Know your school policy. Does your school allow you to have a cell phone, mobile phone, whatever you want to call it, flip phone? Not a pager, not in the 80s. But do they allow you to have phones in school? What are the rules? Do you have to hand it in? Can you have them on you? Do you have to turn them off? Are you no phones at all? Know the rules of your school with things like that's a big one. Chewing gum. It's a basic one. Are you allowed chewing gum in class? No. Outside of class. Wallets, money, or is it all on a thumbprint thing? So yeah, that's very important. Harriet says, go to clubs, make friends. Harriet, I love that bit of advice. I was just saying it earlier. Fantastic. You've echoed that. Go to clubs and societies. You'll meet people who like things that you do. Funny. That same interest in past papers for mocks and GCSEs. Yes, I love the past papers one. Yeah, get into a vibe, guys. Even if you're going to year 7, start going into a routine where you are doing your homework. That is very good. When you come home, you're going to do it, or you're going to do it first thing in the morning. Whatever works for you, as long as you get it done. As long as you get it done. We'll talk about breakfast in a minute. No one's talked about it, not seen. Above average female cooking room. That is a crazy name, but let's go with it. Going into year 10, for all those people going into lower years of secondary school, exams really do not matter. Fair enough. This is your advice. There is nothing to stress about. They really don't mean much. Also, do extracurriculum. So what you're saying is, they do mean something, but what you're saying is they're not like GCSEs. I totally agree. You shouldn't get stressed over them as much as GCSEs. I totally agree with that. Not that you should get stressed over GCSEs, of course. Everyone knows, you see my videos. You know what I'm about. I get what you're saying. I think that's very good advice for a year 7, year 8, year 9. If you're going in for that first time, you don't need to worry about exams. I get where you're coming from. And I agree. George Daniel Pavel, no something under the table. Well, I can't say that live, but I get what you're saying. I would appreciate that as well. Don't ever do that. Yeah, that's a good thing. Don't ever make jokes about bringing things into school. Ever, ever, ever. You will get yourself into a lot of bother. Wow, someone's put £2 and I didn't even see it. Well, thank you, whoever that was. Who gifted us? Can I see in the chat who gifted us? I can't. That's annoying. I'm so sorry. I missed it. Whoever that was, let yourself be known. Techie Ted, what do I do if my teacher tells me no when I really badly need some help? Oh, that's a good one. Is that when the teacher's like, no, we've got to move on? I would wait at the end. I know it's annoying, but say to teacher, I need this help like then, or can you just clarify this before I go off and do the homework? I think sometimes that you've just got to go with it. If the teachers can, like some teachers like to conduct the lesson, the flow of the lesson. I always do segments. So I tell people what we're doing. I then give them time to do it. I then give them time to speak back. But different teachers, you might have to wait to the end of the class. I know that's annoying. Take notes, make a note of the question that you didn't understand, make a note of the time that that question was said, and then speak to the teacher. Also kind of shows the teacher, cool, I should have answered that about 20 minutes ago. Sophie, Taylor's version, going into year 8, any major changes in things like homework or pressure? There will be, you'll up the homework from year 7 to 8, the homework will increase. They are trying to get you ready into the revision mindset. But that's a good question. Rosie Fitbit, please read this. My dad passed away. Oh, sorry. Your dad. Okay, I'm reading that. Sometimes you have to be careful what I read online. So your dad, I've read that 3 years ago. I have severe anxiety and I have severe ADHD. I have ADHD. You're not alone. I'm scared I won't get the car I need. I said this earlier. I think talking to people is a key. Maybe talking to your GP is going to be very important. Your teachers, any school counsellors out there as well. As for the car, I'm trying to understand what you mean by the car. Maybe you need to save up. Maybe the car is not the realistic goal right now. Maybe there's other things that you could save up for. So you maybe need to sort of change that plan up. But I always think talking to someone's going to be really essential. Someone has gifted me the Stickman Plays. Thank you so much. Going into year 11 advice. Thank you. I'm gonna absolutely like that. We liked it, love it. Thank you to Stickman Plays. And I saw your comment, to be fair, so it's right there. Revision. Come up with a revision timetable. Come up with a revision plan that's going to work for you. Don't be told when to revise, how to revise, unless it works for you. Talk to your teachers about what subjects you need to kind of work, what areas you need to work on. Don't revise things that you already know because it's just pointless. But that's my top tips for revision. Past papers are going to be very key. And there's lots of people you can follow online as well on YouTube for top tips for revision, as well as revision tips, as well as like actually showing you what you need to revise and how to revise. To apologize, I kind of repeated myself. But thank you so much for your donation and your awesome question. What are your advice, though, guys? If I'm saying all this, but what do you think works? Shelley STY says, do you have any tips for year 9? Again, it's just moving up the rung, isn't it? It's more revision. It's starting to get you more homework's going to come through. And it's just about you starting to being able to balance your social life, your school life, your family life, but also your homework. And I'd say speak to your teachers as well about up and coming things like what you're picking for your GCSEs as well. But yes, I will do some tips for year 9s as well, but the sounds of it's coming a lot about year 9s as well tonight. Anyone talk about being bullied or anything at school, you need to speak to your teacher immediately and your family. Thanks so much. The Stickman Plays, you are absolutely welcome. And thank you so much once again for your very, very kind donation. You don't have to do that, but we do appreciate it nonetheless. Thank you so much. This is what the advice is for, guys. This is mainly for people who are joining high school for the first time. We're here for another 7 minutes. If you're watching this back, please hit up in the comments some of the top tips that would help you, or questions that you might have. You will find in the chat. You'll get some really good answers. You'll get some random answers as well, but there'll be some really good answers. Filter through them. I have pinned a very good comment right now, so please don't miss it. It's at the top of the comments section in my... So go to that and I will pin the top next best one. So that'll be on there for a couple of minutes, but then I'll look for the next best one. It's been on an hour. So the best comment on my community question, which says, like, what are your top tips for high school? I will pin it. So go after this. Tommy, can you please reply? I've never, ever had the chance to meet my nanny due to a passing of cancer. And a year ago, my dog passed away. And I'm going into year 8. And can I please have any advice? Would really mean a lot. You're very welcome. Lots of you have had passings, and clearly you're hanging on, and that's up here, and it's staying with you. And all I can say is, you've got some very good emotional intelligence today. You're really thinking about your family. Your heart's in a good place. And I can always imagine that with families and nannies and granddads and mums and dads, they just want the best for you. That's all they probably ever want. It's just the best for you. So focus that energy on your studies, but do talk to people as much as you can all the time, in where you live, at home, doctors, GPs, that's what they're for, school counsellors, friends who you can trust, not too many friends. You want to kind of gossip around about what things are stressing you, and of course your teachers about things that are on your mind. But yes, my best advice really going into year 8, like I said, it's just they give you a bit more work to do, but I wouldn't start stressing about GCSEs. Go a good couple of years away. Thank you so much. You are literally the best. You're very welcome, and I wish you all the best yourself. Jack says, hi Tommy, you all right? I'm all right, Jack, thank you. Good name, that's my son's name. I'm not okay, my mate. My brother passed away. I'm also joining year 9. I'm a bit scared. Any tips? Also, I got addicted to vaping. Vaping is a tough one, isn't it? A tough one. Jack, I'd imagine the vaping is that something to relieve the stress at the time for things like that. Again, I'm so sorry that you've gone through that. That isn't a great way of being able to cope with things. I think, again, just being really open with your form tutors. So they're going to have your back, mate. They are going to have your back. When my students have always got their back. If they turn around and start getting at me, then that's where problems happen. But for my students, when they struggle with things like maths and English, behaviours, things like that, I'm like, okay, let's work with this. And I really think you need to sit down with your form tutor, talk about the passing, how it's made you feel, your addiction to the vaping is definitely something good. They might have a wellbeing service at your school or a counsellor that you can speak to about that. They might offer you some NHS wellbeing as well is available in the UK, obviously. So you speak to them, they might have some tips about things like that. Obviously, your school's not going to have a vaping area, so that's another bit of advice. So yeah, maybe starting to cut down. Can you cut down now? Can you have less time using it? But that's more of a medical advice thing. So always seek advice from your GP when you're doing things like that. Okay. Personally, don't do it, man. Find a different thing to do. Can you find a different hobby? Can you go for a jog? Can you play some games? Can you read a book? Something different is normally what's always given. But I'm really sorry about your brother, and I hope you talk about that to your tutor so they're aware. Let's go again, reading everyone's advice as much as I possibly can. We've got your favourite girl, Soph. I'm going into year 7 and I'm very forgetful. Do you have any advice? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. A big notebook is going to be your saviour. Now, if you're allowed phones, you might be able to make notes on your phone. Setting alarms is good. Taking a picture of your timetable the first day. But having that big notebook or a small notepad like this with your pen, you walk around, you make that note. You make that note when you're told that thing. Take that on board, write it down. Harry, thank you so much. I'll be coming to you in a second. I'm just going to like that. It's very kind of you. Thank you so much for the gift as well. You did not have to do it, but thank you so much. Harry, we're talking about it now. I'm going for it. Tell Harry is saying, do we have any advice for secondary school? We talk about taking notes so we don't forget things. Take pictures of your timetables is a classic one. So let your parents see that on the fridge as well so they know what's coming. So think about food technology, you've got catering, cooking, whatever you want to call it the next day or a couple of days away. You've got the recipes ready, you've got your Tupperware packed. Always pack the night before. So when you come in from school, you change, have a shower, have your food. Straight after that, put your bag in order. Get your books in order, get the right stuff in there and the right equipment. That's my best advice for you. Thank you, Harry. You're on the right show. We are talking about top tips. That's why we've got 288 people all offering advice to secondary school. We've said join clubs. We've said start thinking about revision plans, coming up with a homework structure. We've talked about what to pack in our bag. We are going through it. But it's not about me tonight. It's about you because I want to know from people who've been there, done that, got the T-shirts. Tortured Swifties. My goodness, what happened to her? If you're in a friend group and you don't feel fulfilled or you feel left out, leave. Don't be scared of finding new people. Oh, I love that. Such confidence to say and do it. That is fantastic. Great advice. More. Love that. Absolutely love it. Yes. Don't stick with the same people. It's ridiculous. Love the stuff, man. Going into year 10 next year. Frapper Jacks. Thank you so much, guys. The gifting tonight is totally unnecessary, but also much appreciated, and thank you so much. 12 likes for Frapper Jacks. Everyone, if you see Frapper Jacks, make sure you're giving everyone who's gifting on here a like tonight. It's very, very kind. It does pay for my lovely resources of pens that get taken with lids off and dry up. You know who you are. Don't you dare do that in my classroom this year. I tell you what, being that not a teacher's pet here, guys, putting the chair under the table, going up to the teacher, even if you do it subtly, going, cheers, sir. Cheers, miss. That's a good lesson. Thank you. Or I did find it a bit difficult, but thanks very much. You have no idea the difference you will make. And that's not being a teacher's pet. That is not being a teacher. Being a teacher's pet, be like, miss, I'm pretty sure you said there was homework you were going to set us. That's a teacher's pet. The teachers doesn't want you to remind them, let alone the students. Don't do that. That is my best advice on that one. But being that student's like, miss, appreciate that lesson. Thank you so much. You can say it subtly. You can say it subtly. Trust me, that will go down well. You're this. You know we talk in the staff room. Let's move on. I'm going to people saying some people saying about as a teacher, I'm all about supporting lots of communities, ethnicities, backgrounds, LGBTQ plus. Guys, I'm a teacher. I'm a SEND teacher. I'm the most. I there's so much to improve with equality and diversity in this world, including my practice as a teacher. It's always something new that we are learning that we need to support. I've students who are like furries, anything like that. I do my best to support as best I can to make sure that person feels comfortable. So I hope I come across that way. But I'm not perfect either. I'm always learning. And my students are the people that actually say, yeah, that's helpful. That's not helpful. I always go to my student union and say, like, I need to know latest acronyms. I need to know what things to say. So, of course, I really hope I come across that way. But thank you so much for that question. Yes, I am totally on board. Right, let's read some more out. Guys, I can't get over. Thank you so much. All the gifts and the comments have been amazing, supportive tonight. We have a great community on here. I got scared of going outside. This is from insert good name here. Love that. With a nice pink little profile picture. I got scared of going outside at some point over the summer, and I'm worried about going back into school where there's a lot of things in advice. Wow. Man, that is so brave to say such things. Guys, the brave people on here tonight are so open and honest, and yet you were able to say that. Makes you a big person, that does. You do need to speak to someone about that. I would say, if you can, speak to someone. If you're from the UK, you can speak to someone from the NHS, something like that. It could be setting up a doctor's appointment, speaking to your parents, again, speaking to the Form 2. Can you get in contact with the school early and say, having some issues about going out? Perhaps the school can come up with a bit of a reduced timetable. Some schools can do that, depending if it's a learning difficulty or a specialist need that's happening. You know, if you have an EHCP, an educational healthcare plan, they now might need to update that. So that's really useful thing. So you definitely need to tell people about this. Going out wise, they will be able to give you the best advice. I can't just say, I'd say in snippets at the moment, but I'm not an expert on that. So I don't want to give you the wrong advice. But some people would say, can you go out for a set amount of time to feel comfortable? Can you go to a quiet area first? Maybe if you went to the school early and looked for quiet zones, maybe you could have someone who could take around the teacher assistant. So when like the students, for instance, are, guys, I will get to your question, I promise. When the students are like leaving the class, maybe some teacher assistant could take you to the next class when the corridor's a bit quieter. That's always a good one. So all those things can be put in place as long as you tell people. You told me on a live show on YouTube across the world. Congratulations. That takes huge guts, and it really does. So go and do that with your teacher. Next one. I hope I'm helping you. I'm an Ipswich fan. Boo Norwich, we are Premier League. Yes, you are. Harsh to boo on us. 16 years, Carrow Road, you can never beat us. But good luck in the Prem, and I'm very impressed with Ipswich so far. It's hard for me to say that as a Norwich fan. And if you were the two young ladies with your parents I saw at Liverpool Street Station, hello to you. You were so polite. They wore Ipswich shirts and asked for a picture with me. I went to the Tottenham Hotspur game. You were lovely. See, I take pictures with Ipswich fans. I am that guy. See, everyone's like, are you all about LGBT? Yeah, I'm also about Ipswich fans. That's the tougher one. They didn't do training for that one. Elon Musk is here. I'm going into year 7. What do I do? What do I do? That's a reference. Only your parents know that one. I would say you're on the right channel. Listen up. We are go back at the start of this live. You'll hear it all, but we're going to continue. We're going to continue. Year 7s, best advice. Whew. Here we go. Nah, I got you there. I was just like pausing. No, top tips. I would say get to know your timetables. Make a big smile when you go in. Talk to people as much as you can. Join societies. Have your notepad ready. Have a load of pens. Mass pack, that you have with your stationery. A calculator. A pen in your blazer. A backup pen in your blazer. Lots and lots of things like that are going to help you. Breakfast. Now, breakfast is a big one. Let me talk about breakfast real quick, in my opinion, on breakfast. Let me know in the comments. Do you have breakfast at all, which you should say yes to, naughty, or do you have breakfast A, early in the morning, like 6 o'clock, B, on the bus or as you're traveling in, C, first morning break, or D, never? I hope it's not D. Go. Anyway, I'm going to read some more. No, A. So a few people who have it at 6 o'clock in the morning. Arsenal rule. So do Spurs. I went to a Spurs game, won 4-0. No, I'm sure Arsenal do rule. I really would like to see Arsenal win the the Premier League over Man City because Man City have dominated. Or Spurs. I like Spurs. They're a good team as well. D. Oh, a few people saying D. They're not having breakfast. You should do it. Helps your mind. A, B. Lots of A's. Mainly A's. So we've got an average of A. A few C's going in there. So a few break time people. Yes. So I bring this up because breakfast does take a bit of time. I know I'm aware. It can, but you can set up your bowl the night before. I used to do this. I used to get my bowl of Kellogg's, put a little film wrap over it, and then in the morning just go whoosh, whoosh, done. Because we're all like, oh, what time is it? But going to bed at night, the night early before is going to help. Don't set 2 alarms or 3 alarms. I'm going to tell you this now. Well, actually, do set 2 alarms, but don't set multiple alarms. If you wake up and then decide to go back to sleep, it's not actually going to be a good sleep for you. So we've actually seen this now. I've seen this on many YouTube, and I spoke to a few people about this as well. And they say it's not a good idea to go back to sleep because you're not getting a good sleep again. So don't do that. When you hear your alarm, set another one real quick. Get up on that second one. Grace says, tell I'm going to year 9. I missed a month's worth of year 8 because of bullying for self. Oh, bless you. My attendance is really bad and I don't do homework. I'm really scared to go back into school with new teachers. Grace, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I would say to you, hopefully the school is speaking to you possibly about some steps in place for you. Are they talking about reduced timetables? Are they talking about different patterns where you can maybe start a little bit later and finish early? Or are they saying come in for a full timetable? They're going to do different things. I'm not saying your school should do any of these. Your school will have the plan for you. There will be a plan in place for you, Grace, and I wish you all the best. But it does depend on your school and what their plan will be. I would say go along with it. Try to be optimistic. See it as a new year, fresh new start, new year, new you. I know it sounds cliche, but it does, in the mindset, help you to push forward and definitely hang out with new people. Papalupa. I love it. Papalupa. I'm so scared. My school is bad and my teachers make me very depressed. I so hate go up, but in front of parents, they're so kind and caring. What's with those teachers who do that? I don't ever do that with my team. How I am with my students is pretty much how I would be with my parents. You are a little bit more gracious. I think you have to remember teachers are human like you are. Believe it or not, we're not cyborgs yet. And look, we do occasionally have moments where we're not the best. We do get tired. We make rational decisions. We sometimes shout when we shouldn't do. And no, we're not perfect. And I think we are human, but yeah, I'm the same. I always find it like, why are you being different with my parents? I don't get that. So we try not to. It's a little bit more politer, but I hope the school improves for you. I really do. And the teachers are a bit nicer. I'm starting, so Mia 2ZT08 says, I'm starting year 9 in a couple of weeks and I have to start studying my GCSE subjects and I got really overwhelmed when studying because I get anxious. So do you have any advice or tips? I do. And I've said this at the start as well. I would start coming up with a realistic revision timetable that's going to work for you and how you're going to revise, what you're going to revise, and making that time to do so. Asking your teachers for past papers, but telling them what you actually struggle with. Is there a way that you can change it? So do you study better on your own or with other people? Can you go with a group of people? Can you set it that phones are all put out in the middle, out of the way or in the middle of the table where you can actually have a focus group on the work you're doing? Do you need timeouts? Do you need like a 15-minute on and have a 5-minute break? Another 15 minutes, another 5-minute break. Those kind of things will help you to decide. But communication with your teachers, you going into year 9 and thinking about this already, your teachers will be really impressed that you are starting to think about your GCSE. So if you tell them you've had that worry, they will be like, wow, at least she's thinking about it. So that's a good thing. So that's my tips for that one. Caitlin, Rainbow Dash, loving this name. I'm going into year 9 and in year 6 my teacher was not very nice to you because my dad was autistic and he was probably autistic. I'm waiting for a diagnosis one time. Wow, that's Caitlin, you were treated so badly by that teacher. I'm really sorry. I'm not going to read all that out. It's very bad. You know what you wrote. I'm so sorry that's what happened. I don't know teachers who do that. It's very 80s. Like that's what your parents say. Back in my day, used to rip up your work. Yeah, that does not happen in my class. I can tell you that. I'm so sorry you're treated that way. Look, moving forward, hopefully everything's better for you now. The Ice Volcano Show. I mean, to see a volcano fire out ice It sounds like a Mario level on, when you do Mario Kart and you get hit by the ice volcano. I love it. Great name. As someone in high school, I would say avoid as much drama as you can. Brilliant so far. And if you get involved in any, just stay silent or go to the teacher or something best situation. Honestly, it's not dobbing in your mates. Generally, going to a teacher about some of the things that you're going to hear in conversations might be the saving thing for you. Or move away from it. You don't like the drama, move away from the drama. For Pete's sake, don't be the drama. Don't be. Am I the drama? Don't you dare be the drama, especially if you're going year 7. That is not what high school's about. You're there to study. You're there to make friends, of course, but you're not there to cause dramas, to cause issues for others. You don't want that reputation. You really don't. That kind of reputation can be, and I'm going to say this, for some teachers in high schools, that's it. That's you. They'll be, oh, she's just a right drama queen. You don't want to be labelled that. What would be better is, they came to me, they went dobbing on mates, but they were really worried, or they were getting upset about all the drama. Really good advice. Absolutely rocking that with that advice. Talk about rocking, YouTube, YT. So as a year 7 going into year 8, my advice is listen to your teachers. Do not ignore them, as I got a couple of detentions because I didn't listen to my teachers and told me where to go. There you go. Listen to your teachers. Don't start being class clowns. Year 7s. Listen to your teachers. That is such a good thing. You'll have a good time by being on your teacher's good side. Listen to your teachers. I love that. Rocking YouTube. ITSC Burns 7. I'm guessing that is an Ipswich Town fan. I don't know how to revise because I haven't been taught. I have gone through year 7, still not knowing. How do I find out what's best for me? So that's a really good question. Revision past papers might be a saving grace for you. It might be that you need to look at BBC Bitesize, is a great website to go if you're from, obviously, UK. Again, talking to your teachers and saying, I struggle with types of revision. Have you got some techniques for me? They might say, oh, okay, well, let's give you some worksheets to do, or let's look through some of your booklet and see if you can test yourself in some way, or can you write like an essay on this or something like that. They might say, but do it in small amounts. So you might be a bit like me. I've ADHD. I get easily distracted. You might just say, I need 15 minutes of me doing that bit of work, and then I'm going to 5 minutes, bit of water. And you can reward yourself when you revise. Reward yourself. Have nice things to look forward to doing. So if you did like an hour's worth of revision, so a lot of people say do 20 minutes per subject, maybe once per night. All right. So did 20 minutes on one subject, have a 5 minutes, 20 minutes on another, just looking through your notes over the day, testing yourself the next day, putting things on the fridge so your parents can actively take part and say, oh, how do you spell that? What's that method? Or how did you spell, what's the capital of? So things like that. That's going to help you, but have some rewards as well. So if you've done a certain amount of revision where you haven't been on your phone or got distracted, then say, right, I'm going to go on a bike ride or see my mates, play some games. Give yourself a reward. So that might help you. I don't know. Just let me know what works for you. I'd love to hear from you what works for you. See, Norwich fan helping an Ipswich fan. Who'd have thought it? Lane, how you doing? One of my longest running followers is on here, and they say at Teach Tommy T, because they know how to get me. Hi, do you remember me? Yeah, I just said I did. Look at that. They're even asking me. My top tip is to make good relationships with your teachers. I'm pretty much friends with my teachers at this point. Right, so I'm just going to tell you one thing. That is great advice. Be nice to your teachers. Remember, teachers aren't your friends. They are teachers. That's very important for that safety. But I know what you're saying. It's better to be a foe. No, it's better to be a friend than a foe. Part of my dyslexia, which I have, you say sentences or phrases the wrong way around. It's so weird. Does anyone else have that with dyslexia? I do. So some dyslexic people will say like, the phrase, that's the pot calling the kettle black, right? I'll say, that's the cat calling the kettle black. What am I on about? See, I get things wrong. Apple crumble, by the way, brilliant dessert. 79 says, at Panda 73, trying to avoid them. If that doesn't work, be nice to them anyway, and they will run out of bad things to say. I mean, yes, I like that. Just ignoring people's stupid comments. Eventually, they'll just, if they don't get a reaction from you that they want, they'll move on. They will move on. And eventually, unfortunately, they're going to find somebody who does react, and then that'll be their person. But yeah, if you find someone makes an offbeat comment to you, don't react to it. Seriously, don't. The first few weeks, you just don't want to have any of that. Don't want drama. I knew there was a sneeze. Right, I'm going to go now. This has been amazing. You guys have been superb. Thank you so much. Now, listen, in my community page, on my last post, I literally put about going live at 8 o'clock. but also what your best advice and top tips were. Take your comments now, stick them on there, and I'm going to be moving and pinning some of the best ones up as much as I can, so it helps you. Now, brace yourself. If you are going into high school, I will be releasing a YouTube short this week or next before you go back to help you. And what I really would love is you guys to put those comments in there as well. So anything that's going to help you. Last thing I'd say is be careful when you write things on here about anything too personal, because some people might say nasty things. So just think about what you're writing on here. But thank you so much to the people on here. Big shout out to YouTube. Absolutely love being on here, and it's fantastic to be back live. We're going to be weekly. I'm here every week for half an hour, hearing from you guys and answering any of your questions. And we're going to go through the year together. And guys, we're going to get through it together. I hope everyone's GCSEs and A-levels went the right way for them. And good luck anyone going to uni. Let me know. And thank you so much for being on here. You're a brilliant community, and I really do appreciate every last one of you. So thank you so much, and I'll see you again next week. Bye. I knew that dog. He'd have to bark again. He finished the show with barking. Unbelievable. Preppy Jessica, thank you very much.